Good morning, America. For our viewers in the West, a Boeing passenger plane bursting into flames, the major storm sweeping across the country, and the countdown to March Madness. Breaking overnight. An American Airlines plane in flames after making an emergency landing. Everyone on board escaping. Some running from the plane, others huddling on the wings. We're live on the scene in Denver.
A massive cross-country storm takes aim at much of the country. Hundreds of millions on alert for extreme weather, with dangerous wildfire conditions in the heartland. Ginger tracking it all.
Stocks plunge as the trade war ramps up. President Trump threatening a 200% tariff on all wine, champagne, and alcohol from the European Union. And the heated town hall in North Carolina over President Trump and Elon Musk's slashing of the federal government.
Held captive for 20 years. The stepmother arrested, charged for allegedly imprisoning her stepson. How he was finally rescued.
New developments in the Delphi murders case. The full video released from the case of those two girls murdered while on a trail in Indiana, being followed by the suspect.
Growing search for the University of Pittsburgh student who vanished in the Dominican Republic as Interpol now gets involved in her case.
A new warning from the FBI about weight loss drugs, the health risks, and what to know.
Justin Bieber opens up why the pop star and new dad says he feels like a fraud.
And we're dancing into the weekend.
I wanted to say hi to all my friends on Good Morning America.
With the tap dancing Nana, who is celebrating her 102nd birthday. As we get ready for the madness. Counting down to the tournament, the big names and possible Cinderella's ahead of Selection Sunday. Plus, the total eclipse taking over the night sky with stunning images from around the world.
Live from Times Square, it's Friday. Good Morning America.
Good morning, America, and it is Friday, and it is great to have you with us this morning.
It is Friday. It felt like it took a minute to get here, but we're glad to have you with all of us on this Friday. And coming up, the new warning about counterfeit weight loss drugs, the alert from the FBI this morning.
We're going to begin, though, with that American Airlines Boeing flight that burst into flames after being diverted at Denver Airport. Everyone on board was safely evacuated, thank goodness. Mola Lenghi is at Denver Airport with the latest. Good morning, Mola.
Well, good morning, George. Yeah, another scary scene, this time here at the Denver International Airport, all caught on video and sending about a dozen people to the hospital.
This morning, yet another terrifying scene at a U.S. airport.
Oh my gosh.
An American Airlines jet with 178 people on board bursting into flames after landing in Denver. Flames and smoke visible from inside the cabin. Passengers climbing onto the wing of the plane as smoke surrounded them.
It is a little disturbing to see almost maybe 50 or 70 people standing on that wing.
Well, there's people, yeah.
Running through smoke and haze. Alexandria Cullen shared this video after she says her mother escaped the burning plane.
We saw probably a couple dozen people coming down the slide and running away. We didn't know what we were seeing or what was going to happen to people, so it was pretty scary.
The Boeing 737 was headed to Dallas from Colorado Springs Thursday afternoon, but was diverted to Denver about 30 minutes into the flight when the crew reported engine vibrations.
We just have a high engine vibration, so we are cruising slower than normal for American 10,006.
The plane touching down safely in Denver, but the engine catching fire as the plane was taxiing.
Mayday. Houston, Charlie 38, engine fire. 48 engine fire,
Emergency vehicles racing to the scene as those passengers waited on the wing, some using that emergency slide to get down.
We're going down the slide.
There was just so much going through my head of, are people okay? What's on fire? What's going on? Whoa, what am I seeing here? This is, never something you want to see at the airport is, stuff on fire.
12 people taken to the hospital with minor injuries.
This was a situation involving a mechanical malfunction of the engine in flight that did not really erupt into flames until it got on the ground. Fortunately, the crew did exactly the right thing and got the airplane on the ground as rapidly as possible.
American Airlines saying in a statement, "We thank our crew members, Denver team, and first responders for their quick and decisive action with the safety of everyone on board and on the ground as the priority."
Well, just a scary scene there with what appears to be jet fuel on the ground underneath the wing. It appears that initially caught on fire. Now, the NTSB and the FAA are now investigating operations here at the Denver airport, returning to normal overnight after the incident. Of course, it is still early in the investigation, but it appears that the pilot and the crews did everything right in this incident. They got the plane on the ground as quickly as possible, flames put out as quickly as possible, and everyone off the plane as safely as possible, Michael.
Yeah, we're glad they're all okay. Thank you so much for that, Mola. And we're going to turn now to the massive cross-country storm on the move this morning. Millions are on alert for severe weather from the Midwest to the Deep South to the East Coast. Of course, Ginger's tracking it all for us. Good morning, Ginger.
Yeah, the Storm Prediction Center, Michael, is telling us that they see nearly historic wildfire conditions today ahead of the severe weather outbreak. But really, winds 60+ miles per hour from Chicago back to New Mexico. And again, significant tornadoes through this weekend. This morning, the same storm that forced high water rescues and a Southern California tornado is now targeting the rest of the nation. In Pico Rivera, just southeast of Los Angeles, it was an EF0 tornado that took out power lines and trees. Chaotic video capturing the power flashes. After 1 to 2+ inches of rain fell fast, an emergency water rescue in San Juan Capistrano. Firefighters helping a man who was clinging to a tree, his vehicle stuck in a creek full of rushing water. Multiple mudslides trapping cars in feet of mud, leaving drivers stranded. Huge trees taken out from the Bay Area all the way to Los Angeles County. This morning, the same storm is dropping snow in the southern Rockies, a severe weather outbreak on tap this weekend. And it all starts this afternoon through tonight. The worst of it is going to happen after the sun goes down. So know this, from St. Louis through western Illinois into Iowa, the severe storms start up. We're talking wind gusts in excess of 80 or 90 miles per hour. So a very long line of these severe storms with embedded tornadoes. So anybody really through southern Iowa down into the boot of Missouri and into western Mississippi and Tennessee, into Tennessee. Tomorrow it's Mississippi's day. And right along the state line of Alabama, Tuscaloosa, Meridian, back to New Orleans, Birmingham, all with significant EF2+ tornadoes. We could see long track tornadoes, guys. I'm going to head down there. This is the first significant outbreak, and it could definitely be deadly.
Glad you're heading there, but please be safe. And for everyone watching, listen to those alerts. Ginger, thank you. Okay, we turn now to the stock market plunge. As President Trump ramps up his tariff threats, the S&P 500 is now down more than 10% from its record high set less than a month ago. Our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, has the latest. Good morning, Mary.
Hey, Rebecca, good morning. Well, the president insists the U.S. will ultimately benefit from these tariffs, but Wall Street is clearly not convinced, as we are seeing new signs this morning that Trump's trade war is taking a real toll on the American economy. This morning, new alarm bells on Wall Street as the president's trade war escalates. The Dow plunging more than 500 points, and for the first time in 2 years, the S&P 500 going into correction territory, down 10% from its high last month. A benchmark that speaks to investor anxiety over Trump's tit-for-tat tariffs. Still, the president says he's not backing down.
We've been ripped off for years, and we're not going to be ripped off anymore. No, I'm not going to bend at all.
In fact, he's vowing to go even further, threatening a 200% tariff on all wine, champagne, and alcohol coming out of France and the European Union, saying it's in response to 50% tariffs on U.S. whiskey that the EU announced in retaliation to Trump's tariffs in the first place. The president insists his new move will be great for the wine and champagne businesses in the U.S., but the French trade minister says Trump is escalating a trade war of his own making and is vowing to retaliate, warning we will not give in to threats and will always protect our sectors. In Louisville, Kentucky, distillery owner Victor Yarbrough is having to rethink his business strategy.
Maybe we need to hold off until the whole tariff thing kind of calms down a bit, and let's pivot to another country. Well, let's double down domestically.
Economists warn American businesses will foot the bill for Trump's tariffs and pass the costs along to consumers by raising prices. Trump acknowledges American consumers may take a hit, but says other countries like Canada, Mexico, and our European allies need us more than we need them.
Now, there'll be a little disruption, but it won't be very long. But they need us. We really don't need them.
Canadian leaders say that's not the case.
We're your largest customer. There's no one that buys more products off the United States than we do. You're going to be paying a lot more for everything right across the board because you can't get aluminum anywhere else.
In the Oval Office, I pressed the president.
But many American small business owners say they are concerned that these tariffs are going to hurt them. What's your message to them?
They're going to be so much richer than they are right now. And we have many. Yesterday, General Motors was in. They want to invest $60 billion. The people from Facebook were in yesterday. They're going to invest $60 billion by the end of the year. Other people are talking about numbers. Apple, as you know, a few days ago announced $500 billion investment. They're going to build their plants in the United States, which, as you know, almost all of their plants are in China. Now they're building in the United States.
But it could take years for these big companies to build new facilities and train workers. And recent polling now shows that a majority of Americans disapprove of how the president is handling these tariffs with our largest trading partners. 58% disapproving of how he's handling trade with Canada, with 56% disapproving of his handling of trade with Mexico. And overall, 54% disapprove of how Trump is handling the economy, with 41% approving. George.
Okay, Mary, thanks very much. Rebecca, let's talk more about the economic impact of these moves, starting with that 200% tariff on wine.
Right. If it were to go into effect, we don't know exactly how it would play out, but if the full tariff was passed off to consumers, you could see that $15 bottle of Prosecco go up to $45 a bottle. And what's interesting is I've talked to a lot of local wineries, vineyards here in the U.S. in Sonoma and Oregon, and they're cautioning they actually are worried about these tariffs as well, because they rely on restaurants and businesses to buy their wine. If restaurants and businesses start to feel these tariffs, their costs go up. They buy less American wine as well. And they're dealing with the tariffs already for things like the cost of their bottles, which are making more expensive for the wineries.
Lots of ripple effects right there. And we saw Mary talk about that poll right there. If American consumers start to register that disapproval, spend less, that could have a huge economic impact.
Yeah, and we're hearing some of this from companies like the dollar store Delta talking about consumers starting to pull back. The more consumers pull back, the bigger impact it has on the economy overall.
Okay, we'll be watching.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for that, Rebecca. Now to President Trump and Elon Musk's drive to slash the federal workforce. Our senior political correspondent, Rachel Scott, has the latest on that story and the anger over the cuts. Good morning, Rachel.
Michael, good morning. And these sweeping cuts and mass firings by the Trump administration not only prompting legal pushback in the courts, but also from voters across the country who are confronting their Republican representatives at town halls. Overnight, a heated town hall in Asheville, North Carolina.
I feel like this is not productive with everybody yelling at me. I mean, if you want to hear, yeah.
Republican Congressman Chuck Edwards confronted by constituents about the sweeping cuts across the government by President Trump and Elon Musk.
How do you justify cuts to staff of the VA helping veterans, especially those with long-term care needs?
So first of all, there have been no cuts to the staff as of this.
Edwards repeatedly booed as he took questions for 90 minutes.
Like him or not, Elon Musk has brought a lot of really smart people to Doge.
One interaction turning so contentious, this man had to be escorted out.
You don't get to do this to us!
The Trump administration is pushing forward with those cuts. Thousands of workers have already been fired across the federal workforce. In the middle of tax season, sources say the IRS is now expected to cut 18,000 jobs by May 15th. And the U.S. Postal Service announcing it will trim its workforce by 10,000 with voluntary buyouts after striking an agreement with the Department of Government Efficiency. Musk this week splitting with the White House, suggesting entitlement programs like Medicare and Social Security could be next.
The way it's important in entitlement spending, which is most of the federal spending is entitlements. That's like the big one to eliminate.
Those words leaving some voters concerned.
What are you doing to ensure the protection of our Social Security benefits?
Yeah. Good question. I'm not going to vote to dissolve your Social Security. I'm not looking to disrupt Social Security at all.
And overnight, a federal judge ordering 18 agencies to hire back 20,000 federal workers the administration fired. The judge saying the mass firings didn't follow certain rules or give advance notice, causing the impacted states irreparable harm by having to assist thousands of unemployed workers. And when it comes to the administration's argument that federal employees were fired for poor performance, the judge writes, this isn't true. There were no individualized assessments of employees. They were all just fired collectively.
So just hours earlier, a different federal judge issued a very similar ruling. The White House responding to that, calling it absurd, saying they're vowing to fight it. George.
Rachel, it looks like no government shutdown?
Yes, George, it's always down to the wire, but it doesn't look like Congress will avert this shutdown. Senate Democrats reversing course after trying to block a Republican proposal, all in protest of President Trump, Elon Musk, and those sweeping cuts across the federal government. But Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer now says he will vote to keep the government open, insisting while these Republican policies are bad, a shutdown, he says, is far worse, George.
Okay, Rachel, we're going to come back to New York now. And federal immigration agents looking for a woman near Columbia University last night, days after a Palestinian activist and former graduate student was arrested, with the Trump administration trying to deport him. Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katursky has the latest. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, George. Overnight, Columbia University says agents from Homeland Security Investigations showed up with search warrants at 2 student residences, and law enforcement sources tell ABC News they were looking for at least one woman who was not home at the time. Sources say these searches were all part of the Trump administration's crackdown on individuals described as sympathizing with Hamas, and they follow the arrest of Columbia graduate and Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalil. Overnight, his attorneys called Khalil's detention wholly unjustified. They called for his immediate release. Khalil's supporters protested at Trump Tower. About 100 protesters were arrested. The Trump administration says Khalil's presence in the country would have serious adverse foreign policy consequences, but his attorneys, George, say he broke no law and committed no crime. Michael?
All right, Aaron, we know you're going to keep on following that for us. And now to last night's total lunar eclipse, visible across the country. Larry's here with the images. Did you stay up? Did you see it?
No, I did not. That's why I'm here, feasting my eyes along with all of us. If you were able,
value of GMA right there.
Exactly. Cue the Bonnie Tyler, everybody. If you were able to gaze skyward last night, you were treated to a rare spectacle in the middle of the night when the Earth moved directly between the sun and the moon, casting that reddish glow and giving what is known as the blood moon. But if you missed it because, well, it did happen after 2 a.m. Eastern, here you go. It all lasted a few hours. You see that reddish color? That's when the Earth's shadow covers the moon, causing it to appear red. The total eclipse lasted 66 minutes. It was visible throughout most of North and South America, as well as parts of Africa and Europe, Australia and Japan. And this is the first full lunar eclipse since 2022. Experts say the next total eclipse like this one that's visible to the whole country will not happen again, guys, until 2048. Wow. So there you have it.
I'll wait for that one.
It's on the calendar.
I'll stay awake for that one. It's on my calendar.
Okay, Larry, come up. You're going to tell us about Selection Sunday when you come back?
Yes, absolutely. We will talk basketball. Fans are getting ready to find out if their teams make it into March Madness. We will tell you right here what you can expect.
Oh, cannot wait for that. Also ahead, Ariel Reshef is in the Dominican Republic with the latest on the missing college student. Hey, Ariel.
We have breaking new details overnight from that last person to have seen that college student before she vanished. What he told authorities happened in those early morning hours. We'll have that coming up.
Thank you, Ariel. Plus, the FBI's new warning about weight loss drugs.
It is Friday. Hope it's off to a good start for you. And we'll be right back.
5 to shoot. 5 in the game. Edwards, no foul. Missed it. Rebound on Parra. Oh, Hepburn! No!
Got it. Knock it down. Welcome back to GMA. That's the buzzer beater moment in college basketball. Chucky Hepburn sending the Louisville Cardinals into the ACC semifinals. And coming up, Larry's giving us a preview of Selection Sunday as we count down to March Madness. What a shot.
What a great feeling that must be.
Oh, yeah, I never did it, but it must
be. Me neither. First new at 7:30. This morning, Hamas has announced it will release American hostage Adon Alexander and the bodies of 4 other dual nationals. This comes as Hamas has submitted a response to the latest ceasefire extension proposal. And Russian President Vladimir Putin did not accept the U.S. proposal for a 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine. He says he supports the idea, but added conditions that Ukraine finds unacceptable.
SpaceX is set to attempt to launch a new crew to the International Space Station tonight. This would begin the process of bringing home 2 astronauts who have been on the station for 9 months. And Golden State Warriors star Steph Curry turns 37 today, and he has a lot to celebrate. Last night, Curry became the first player in the NBA history to hit 4,000 three-pointers with this shot against Sacramento. The next closest player has fewer than 3,000. Wow. I had to double check that stat because it's just unbelievable.
But I wonder how many practice shots he had to take so that he could be good enough to hit 4,000, because he hits them from everywhere.
Yeah, but
imagine all the work he puts in.
He's so far ahead of everybody else. It's like Joe DiMaggio's streak. People think it'll never be matched.
Yeah.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
He's the best shooter we've ever seen. He's the best shooter we will ever see.
We're going to turn now to the Connecticut woman accused of imprisoning her 32-year-old stepson for decades. Police say he started a fire and is desperate to break free. Whit Johnson here with the story. Good morning, Whit.
George, good morning. This is a disturbing story here. Police called it a life of captivity and starvation and abuse. The man told authorities he intentionally started the fire at his home and even collapsed to the ground and wouldn't get up because he wanted the fire department to save him, believing that was his only way out.
This morning, harrowing new details of a 32-year-old man now free after allegedly being held captive for decades. His stepmother taken into custody.
This is the worst treatment of humanity that I've ever witnessed.
Last month, authorities in Waterbury, Connecticut, responding to reports of an active fire at 56-year-old Kimberly Sullivan's home, making an alarming discovery.
Here's an adult that was 5'9" and 68 pounds.
According to new court documents, officers came into contact with a man who was extremely emaciated. He told officers he intentionally started the fire in his room on the second floor using a lighter, hand sanitizer, and paper because he wanted his freedom.
There's some physical evidence that was seized from the house that does corroborate the fact that that room did have exterior locks on it.
Sullivan appearing in court Thursday, now out on bail, facing multiple charges, including unlawful restraint, reckless endangerment, assault, and kidnapping. The accuser recounting details of his alleged captivity to authorities, saying he had not bathed in over a year. He was let outside for mere minutes a day, and his diet reduced to 2 sandwiches a day. When asked if he was hungry every day, he stated, "All day, every day, my entire life."
That is an awfully long time for no one to have information about what happened to this young man and why he was out of sight and ultimately became out of mind.
And Sullivan's attorney says she denies all allegations and suggested it was the biological father who dictated how his son was raised. He died last year. According to court documents, the Department of Children and Families did visit the home on a couple of occasions, but those visits stopped years ago after the boy was pulled out of school, guys.
What a horrible story. Yeah, sounds unbelievable.
Yeah, it was an act of desperation to get out of that house.
All right, Whit, thank you. Appreciate that. Now to the search for answers in the disappearance of a U.S. college student who vanished in the Dominican Republic. Interpol is now involved in the case, and our Ariel Reschip is in the Dominican with the latest. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning to you, Michael. More than a week after her disappearance, we are now hearing from Joshua Reeby, the last known person to have seen her before she vanished. And this morning, we're learning from sources that with 2 lawyers present, Reeby told authorities that he tried to save her and thought she was okay before he passed out on the beach. This morning, new details from the last known person to have seen University of Pittsburgh student Sadiksha Kananki before she vanished. 2 officials confirming to ABC News 24-year-old Joshua Reeby told the local prosecutor he and Kananki kissed. Then he tried to save her life after they got caught in a big wave, saying, "I was holding her under my arm and swimming. It was hard. I was a pool lifeguard, not the ocean." After getting her to knee-deep water and seeing her walk at an angle, he asked if she was okay. He didn't hear a response. He then says he got sick from inhaling seawater and passed out on the beach. Prosecutors asking him, "Where's the girl?" He answered, "I don't know." When he reached the beach, he thought she was okay because she was in knee-deep water. He then went back to the beach where he fell asleep. Police say Kananki's clothes and shoes were found on the beach. No sign of any struggle. Authorities in the Dominican Republic believe it's likely she drowned.
He was captured on hotel cameras returning to his room the next morning alone around 9 a.m. Detectives from Virginia, where Kananke's family lives, traveling to the Dominican Republic to hunt for clues. Loudoun County authorities calling Reby a person of interest, but not a suspect. This as Interpol issues a global alert as search helicopters scour reefs off Punta Cana for any sign of the 20-year-old. Officials say Reby has remained in Punta Cana cooperating with the investigation. But investigators leaving no stone unturned. The island's public prosecutor's office saying they are conducting multiple investigative steps that extend beyond a possible accidental event.
And the president of the Dominican Republic has ordered a thorough investigation. Sources tell us it could take up to 6 months. Guys,
just so much heartache for that family. We hope they get their answers soon. Ariel, thank you for staying on this story for us.
Update of the Delphi murders case. For the first time, we're seeing the full video of Libby German shot on the bridge before she and Abby Williams murdered. It comes as the convicted killer's lawyers file an appeal. Eva Pilgrim here with the details. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, George. Investigators say that video was key to this case, giving them clues left by the two girls, just 13 and 14 years old, that helped solve their own murders.
Until now, the public had only seen this snippet and heard the murderer's voice. But this 43-second clip played at the Delphi murder trial and just released on a website that supports the man convicted of the killings, Richard Allen, reveals the growing panic between the two 8th graders. Abby Williams asking her best friend Libby German if the man following them is still there. You can hear nervous whispering as Libby steps off the trail.
See, this is the path that we go down.
Abby is seen rushing past Libby.
There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
You hear heavy breathing and then footsteps before the voice of their killer.
Hi.
Police say Abby and Libby were ordered down that hill at gunpoint and killed.
And Richard Allen was found guilty and sentenced to 130 years behind bars. That video posted 1 day after his attorney filed to appeal, guys. Wow. Really difficult to watch.
Yeah, very difficult to watch. All right, thank you, Eva. Wow.
We are back now with the countdown to March Madness. Selection Sunday for college basketball's biggest tournament is this weekend, and Lara's got your guide before the first tip-off. She's back. Hey, Lara.
So much to know here, guys. So, good morning to you all. Selection Sunday isn't here yet, but there are some big conference championships this weekend whose winners will automatically punch a ticket to the big dance, and some teams are already shoo-ins. We're going to get right into it. First, on the men's side, Duke, Houston, Auburn, and Florida are the top-ranked teams, the 4 top-ranked teams. They will make it in even if they don't win their conference tournaments. Duke suffered a scare, though. Thursday, their star, Cooper Flagg, injured his ankle. His coach called it a real long shot that he would play in the ACC tournament semis tonight against UNC. That is a huge loss. Meanwhile, on the women's side, the top 4 teams, UCLA, South Carolina, UConn, and USC. The Trojans have sophomore Juju Watkins. She is on fire. ESPN says that she should be player of the year. Remember, she just passed Caitlin Clark's record for the most points scored through 2 seasons, guys. She's so good.
She is. So Juju. I love a Cinderella story, and this year has plenty.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
This is my favorite. So on the men's side, keep an eye on St. Francis. Remember them? They've already punched their ticket to March Madness after winning the Northeastern Conference Tournament Championships. This will be their first NCAA bid since 1991. And on the women's side, what does a post-Caitlin Clark era look like for the Iowa Hawkeyes? So far, they have not had the kind of success that they're used to with a record of 22-10, but that is not bad at all, and they could make for an excellent Cinderella team to watch this year. New coach, young team, and they have a lot of momentum going into the tournament, so it's exciting.
Yeah, and there are always a lot of characters. But the March Madness has gone kind of granny style.
There is a story here. You're right about that. Check out Wofford College's Kyler Filowich and what he calls his signature granny style free throw. Did you see that? The Terriers, there it is. The Terriers won their conference championship Yes.
The underhand.
Yes, I love that. You'll see more of that signature shot from the foul line at the big dance, and the Terriers aren't the only dogs to look out for. South Carolina women's coach Dawn Staley's dog Champ is sure to make an appearance again this year. The black and gray Havanese is always by her side. Remember at the press conference last year, she said that he declined to answer questions until he was provided with a proper nameplate. Maybe this year he will get one. He sure deserves one.
And of course, then he'll talk.
Yeah. Thank you.
How's our
finally agreeing.
How's our coach bracket going?
The coach bracket it's on fire. That was really fun yesterday, and thank you everybody who participated. We introduced you to our March Madness coaches bracket featuring top TV and movie coaches. We started out with our very own Sweet 16, if you will. You guys all voted. On Monday, we will let you know who makes it into the round 2.
Ooh.
It's fun.
Yeah.
We're in.
Very.
Thank you, Lara. Appreciate it. Okay, and you can see some of the biggest matchups all weekend long on ESPN, and on Sunday, the brackets will be revealed. ESPN will have the women's selection special at 8 p.m. Eastern. Coming up here, we've been celebrating Sleep Week, and this morning, Lori Bergamato is here with the finale, bringing us the right stuff to help you get some shut-eye. We could all use that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. Breaking overnight. An American Airlines plane in flames after making an emergency landing. Everyone on board escaped.
Justin Bieber opens up why the pop star and new dad says he feels like a fraud.
And Scott Foley is here. You fell for him and Felicity.
This is Noel. This is Ben.
How you doing? Good, thanks. Good.
Had your suspicions about him in Scandal. Now he's starring in Will Trent.
What are you doing here?
And he's saying,
Good morning, America.
Live from Times Square, it's Friday. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America. We love it when the talented Scott Foley is here, and always love to see Lori Bergamato as well, because she's bringing up the right stuff as we celebrate National Sleep Week. That's coming up.
Sleep? What's that?
Good
We
question.
could all use a good sleep. And just ahead, we have the details on the recall of a group of popular skincare products used to fight acne with a potentially cancer-causing chemical.
First look at the top stories breaking at 8. We start with that American Airlines Boeing plane that burst into flames at Denver Airport. Everyone on board was safely evacuated. Mola Lenghi is at Denver Airport with the latest. Good morning, Mola.
Well, good morning, George. Yeah, another scary scene involving a plane, this time here at the Denver International Airport, sending a dozen people to the hospital.
This morning, yet another terrifying scene at a U.S. airport.
Oh my gosh.
An American Airlines jet with 178 people on board bursting into flames after landing in Denver. Passengers climbing onto the wing of the plane as smoke surrounded them, running through smoke and haze.
We saw probably a couple dozen people coming down the slide and running away.
The Boeing 737 was headed to Dallas from Colorado Springs, but diverted to Denver about 30 minutes into the flight when the crew reported engine vibrations. The plane touching down safely, but the engine catching fire during taxiing. Emergency vehicles racing to the scene, some using that emergency slide to get down. 12 people taken to the hospital with minor injuries. American Airlines saying in a statement, "We thank our crew members, Denver team, and first responders for their quick and decisive action with the safety of everyone on board and on the ground as the priority."
Well, the operation's back to normal here at the Denver airport overnight. The FAA is now investigating. Now, it is still early in this investigation, but it appears the pilots and the crews, they did everything right here in this case. They were able to get the aircraft down onto the ground as quickly as possible, get the flames out, and get passengers off the plane as safely as possible, Michael.
Yeah, they did a great job with that, Mola. Thank you. And now to the FBI's new warning about counterfeit weight loss drugs. Rhiannon Alley is here with the story. Good morning, Rhiannon.
Hey, good morning to you, Michael. This is the second update from the federal government just this week about what's known as drug compounding of these popular weight loss medications. So first of all, the FDA clarified its timeline for compounders to stop making copies of approved GLP-1 drugs in the coming weeks and months, now that the supply has stabilized. And the FBI is warning about counterfeit weight loss drugs being sold that claim to have semaglutide, which is the key ingredient in Ozempic and Wegovy. Testing found that some of them didn't have it at all, while others had large amounts of unknown drugs. Now, the FBI warns these fraudulent counterfeit versions, trying to pass themselves off as legitimate compounded versions, can cause significant health problems. We're talking gastrointestinal, cardiac, nervous system, or even psychiatric disorders, even death. The FBI says avoid too good to be true prices from unlicensed providers, beware of online offers, and name brand or legitimate compounded versions require a prescription. And Rebecca, we say this all the time, but it is very true. Always talk to your doctor before you use any of these medications.
Yes, always, Rhiannon. Thank you. We're going to turn now to the recall of acne creams from some major retailers, and Eva Pilgrim's back with details on this. Hi, Eva.
Hey, Rebecca. As if having a zit isn't enough, now that zit cream you're using could be under a FDA voluntary recall for having elevated levels of a potentially cancer-causing agent. There are 6 products that are being recalled, all drugstore products, including Walgreens Acne Control Cleanser, Proactive Skin Smoothing Exfoliator, SLMD Benzoyl Peroxide Acne Lotion, and La Roche-Posay Effaclar Duo Dual Action Acne Treatment. Now, the batches in question have expiration dates from April 2025 to March 2026. The FDA is asking retailers to pull the products due to a possible benzene contamination. Long-term exposure to high levels of benzene can cause leukemia, but the FDA is saying even with daily use of these products for decades, the risk of a person developing cancer because of exposure to benzene found in these products is still very low. La Roche-Posay and Walgreens both telling us they are removing any of the remaining units in question. The maker of Proactive doing the same and offering customers a refund or replacement. SLMD did not immediately respond to ABC News' request for comment, and you can learn more about this recall on our website, goodmorningamerica.com. But goodness, zit cream.
Yeah, gotta check the medicine cabinet.
Yeah, it's like, and you still, as an adult getting a zit, you're like, dang it.
Here we go again.
Really got to this morning.
You're fired up about the zit.
I mean, it's like you think you leave that behind in your teens, no?
But you don't.
You don't.
Thank you, Eva. Coming on our GMA Morning Menu, Justin Bieber's emotional post why the singer is calling himself a fraud.
And the 2 sisters diagnosed with colorectal cancer with no other family history. Dr. Tara Narul is here with what to know, especially young people.
Also ahead, if you love these looks in the White Lotus, we'll show you how to make them your own. And Lara's with 2 special guests. Hey, Lara.
A very special, Michael. Both of these guys have the right stuff. Lori B, of course, with exclusive deals on best-selling sleep products. And Scott Foley has had the right stuff since Scandal days, Felicity days. And now he's bringing it to ABC's Will Trent. We are so lucky for that. And we'll talk to him coming up on GMA.
And we are back with our GMA cover story. Justin Bieber, the pop star, shared in a post that he struggles with feeling like a fraud. Stephanie Ramos here with the story. Good morning, Stephanie.
Hey, George. Good morning. Justin Bieber has a message for his believers. On social media, he shared a heartbreaking message about feeling unworthy, and fans are showing up in the comments section to support.
What if you had it all, but nobody to call?
This morning, Justin Bieber letting his guard down, sharing on his social media feelings of being a fraud, unworthy, and unequipped.
I'm so lonely.
The 31-year-old singer-songwriter and new dad writing, "People told me my whole life, wow, Justin, you deserve that." Adding, "It made me feel sneaky, like, damn, if they only knew my thoughts, how judgmental I am, how selfish I really am, they wouldn't be saying this." These comments come on the heels of a previous post just last month saying, "Changing is about letting go."
Yeah, you got that yummy, yum, that yummy, yum, that yummy, yummy.
A few days later, he was seen participating in an LA charity hockey event, smiling. On Wednesday, the 2-time Grammy winner posting a picture seated at the piano, fans flooding his reply section with joy and excitement, hoping for new music. Bieber celebrating his birthday earlier this month with throwback photos as a baby and time with friends, family, his wife Haley, and son Jack, who he welcomed in August.
A source tells People magazine earlier this month Justin is prioritizing working on new music and his family and spending as much time with them as he can. And of course, we wish him the absolute best.
Guys. Sure do. Yeah, we do.
Okay, Stephanie, thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and we're taking a look closer at this troubling trend. More young people have been diagnosed, often with no family history, and our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Tara Narula, is here with more. This is really troubling, but it's nice to see you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Good morning. Colon cancer has long been considered a disease that primarily affects older adults, but cases among younger people are rising. And in some cases, it's happening within the same family. We met two sisters who were diagnosed just 1 year apart. Take a look. For Ohio sisters Heather Russell and Courtney Bigers, it was a diagnosis they never saw coming. In her mid-20s, Courtney was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer, just days before her wedding in 2019.
It was kind of survival mode. I wanted my wedding to be perfect. I wanted it to be a great memory. At 27, athletic, healthy, I thought I was invincible.
In the following months, Heather dismissed her own similar symptoms.
You don't ever think, that two siblings could be diagnosed with the same kind of cancer in such a short amount of time. So that thought never crossed my mind.
On her 35th birthday, Heather was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer too, just 1 year after her sister. Besides Courtney's diagnosis, there had been no family history of the disease.
We cried together because what a moment, right?
It was shocking, right? I still just couldn't believe that a cancer I never would have thought about, read about, knew about was happening to us at the same time with the same tumor.
Colon cancer is on the rise in young people. Symptoms include abdominal pain, changes in bathroom habits, blood in the stool, and unexplained weight loss. Today, approximately 11% of all colon cancer diagnoses occur in individuals under age 50.
Colorectal cancer has now become the #1 cause of cancer-related deaths in men under the age of 50 and #2 in women. We know that it can run in families and that having a first-degree relative with colorectal cancer, especially at a young age, significantly increases the risk.
For Heather and Courtney, the shared experience of battling cancer together strengthened their sisterly bond.
As much as it was terrifying to receive this diagnosis, having her to relate to created this immense comfort for me.
We have to listen to your intuition, those gut feelings, no pun intended.
Screening for most people begins at age 45, but if you're younger and experiencing any of the symptoms we mentioned, please speak to your doctor. It could save your life. As for the sisters, Heather just celebrated her 40th birthday and is marking 5 years since her initial diagnosis. Courtney has her 5-year checkup coming up in May, so we're sending our best thoughts out to both of them.
Yes, we are, absolutely. And advocate for yourself with your doctor. That's such important information.
Absolutely, and their bond is so special. Heather said Courtney created this blanket of comfort around her, and she knew that no matter what happened, her sister was there for her, and she's forever grateful to her for that. So
absolutely. Yes. Dr. Narula, thank you.
George, I'm telling you, never dance, George. It's the key to success in life. It keeps you going. Dancing and sleeping, everybody. It's World Sleep Day. All week long, we've been celebrating Sleep Week. And this morning, GMA Lifestyle contributor Lori Bergamatto is here with the right stuff to help you sleep like a baby with some of our best-selling sleep-related products from over the years. So scan that QR code right now to buy these products. Good morning, Lori. What we got?
After all that fancy footwork, you're going to need a rest,
Toppers.
Michael Strahan.
Yes, I do. Ooh,
so this is from Sattva. I know you know this brand now, right? Get on there.
Oh,
yes.
Wow, okay.
So this is their micro coil topper. What we love about this is if, mattresses last for about 10 years. So if you're in a place right now where it's like pushing that decade, this can breathe new life into your mattress. It's like CPR for a mattress.
Yep.
But even if you have a new mattress, what's great about this, it will make your current mattress infinitely more comfortable. So you have those micro coils, inner spring, you have that response.
Yeah.
You're really doing all the work for me today. You're showing as I'm telling. It's perfect, Michael. Thank you. And, we love Sattva. They're the Right Stuff Hall of Fame item to begin with. We also have a 15% discount on that item. So you want to get that.
They even make them Gary bed size.
Oh, boy. Couldn't leave Gary alone, could we? Okay,
Love you, Gary.
Michael's trying to have a pop quiz for
soft.
you. It is. You ready for your pop quiz?
Let's go.
What makes a quality sleep environment? 3 things. Do you know what it is?
Sheets, darkness, and temperature.
Okay, 2 out of 3, not bad.
Okay.
So you want cool, dark, and quiet.
Cool, dark, and quiet.
Cool, dark, and quiet, you guys. So to tick
You haven't been in my house. Anyway, go ahead.
To tick that cool box, we have the Rest Comforter by Evercool. This is so nice.
Very nice.
It's
It
really
feels
nice. So this is
incredible.
great for temperature regulation. It's made with nylon and spandex, and it uses a fully drawn yarn technique. Basically, it just means they stretch that yarn out really, really tight, and it creates that really buttery, smooth feeling.
It is like butter.
And what it's going to do is it's going to take your body heat, it's moisture wicking, and dissipate it away from you, so that you're keeping at that cool temperature. Because do you know what you want the temperature to be in your environment?
67 for me.
60 to 67 degrees. You are a sleep expert. You
on it,
learned a lot this
I'm on
week.
it.
And we also have a 10% discount on that.
Great.
Okay, now the Marlowe pillow. This is not just any pillow. This
Okay.
is from Brooklinen. It is a bestseller. The GMA viewer loves this pillow because, go ahead and unzip that for me. So
Yeah, I
you
was looking at
basically
that.
get 2 pillows in one. If you want something that's plusher and softer and thicker, you unzip it. But maybe you're reading a book and you have
more.
neck pain or something. You need something a little firmer, a little more upright. You zip it, and then you get the best of both worlds.
Wow.
And for Sleep Week, Brooklinen is doing 20% off their whole site.
So smart.
So
Okay,
really
20%
incredible
off.
there.
Great deal there.
Okay, now you have your pillow. You need your
Yes.
pillowcase. You probably never wake up with bedhead
Yes, I do.
or creases in your face, but some
All
of
the
us
time.
do, Michael. And I'm one of those people. So the Blissy has been a game changer for me. It really changes your beauty ritual overnight. So this is made of 100% pure mulberry silk. Are you laughing at me?
No, Gary's back here, and he's talking about creases. I'm like, some creases don't go away after people wake up.
Back to Blissy. This has been a bestseller. It is, tweens love it.
But
Everybody.
it feels good. Like
it feels great,
yeah.
right? Comes in a bunch of different colors, and you will notice a difference instantly. It's one of those products that you sleep on it one night, you
And
wake
you
up the
got it.
next morning, and you're like,
All right.
why didn't I have this?
Great job there, Blissy.
And speaking of amazing products,
You gotta have good sheets.
you gotta have good sheets. And
Yeah.
these sheets have over 350,000 5-star reviews on Amazon. They're from Milani. And what we love about them is they're under $50. That is incredible. You get
Really?
the whole 6-piece set. And that price tag really doesn't do justice to how soft the double brushed microfiber is. You guys do sleep on these sheets.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, do not sleep on getting these
Do
sheets.
not sleep
but
on
do
buying them, but do sleep on them.
because they're incredible.
Lori,
So thank you so
as
much.
always, thank you,
Happy
Lori.
Sleep Week.
And you know what? For you at home, to find these products, just scan that QR code to go to goodmorningamerica.com and pick yourself up. Don't sleep on the sheets, but don't sleep on buying the sheets. There we go. All right, coming up, we're going to tell you how to create your own White Lotus look. That's pretty chic. When we come back with more GMA.
Thank you so much.
To Thailand, to monkeys, to self-care, and a week of new memories.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, how we love this show.
To fashion.
Welcome back to GMA. You know the theme song, White Lotus, is the show everyone's talking about. And you can actually get some of the incredible Thailand looks that you see on the show for less. Style expert Erica Work is here to help us shop the show, if you will. You can actually shop all the products by scanning the QR code that's right on your screen. I want to dive right in, if you will, because our first look is Kate's character, and it's perfect as we're getting ready for the warmer weather with the sarong and bathing suit.
Yes. Okay, so the one that Kate wore would set you back $1,400. Yeah, a bathing suit, this much fabric for $1,400.
Why was that? Who makes that?
The math is not mathing, everybody.
No.
So
But look
I
how
found
it's
it.
such a close
right?
replica.
I found it for $83 from Nordstrom.
Wow.
I love a pink bathing suit. It's just so beautiful. It's a great pop of color, especially if you are going on vacation. Why not opt for a bold color?
Yeah.
And then I also love how Kate's look was styled with a black and white printed sarong.
Yeah, really
Again,
cool.
hers would set you back around $2,000. I found this one from H&M for just $17.99.
Yeah, much better. Really good.
Much better.
Much
What I
better.
love about the sarong is it's basically an oversized scarf. So when you are packing for a trip or vacation, you can actually rewear this multiple ways.
Yep.
So it's great to have that longevity for your vacation. We
Yeah,
finished the look
multi-purpose.
with a really cute bag from Amazon for just $25.99, and then a classic flare.
That is cute. Yeah,
Isn't
it is
that
cute.
Great?
Yeah.
Again, looks super
And easy
luxe
to
for
pack.
less. So easy to pack.
Yep.
I would actually like if I was going on a plane, I'd use that as my little carry-on tote.
Yeah, makes
and just
sense.
stack
Or
everything
put
in
it in
there.
your carry-on tote.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's great. Thank you so much.
I love the pink.
So
okay,
good.
Rick's Island look.
Oh my
this
God.
This is just laid back, chill
this
guy
Walton
look.
Goggins?
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
an iconic moment.
He's so good.
He
This
is
is,
so
and I like
good.
this interpretation, by the way.
Right?
Yeah.
So very similar. I love sort of an oversized short sleeve button down, especially for the summer. This is from Old Navy, just $17.49.
really nice,
yeah.
Super cute.
You
I
kinda
love
nailed this.
the color combinations, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I think if you're easing your way into color, especially for men, this is a great way to do that because you're already mixing the neutrals of the cream and the green, and then that pop of burgundy and orange is just such a fresh perspective for spring. And then we finish it off with the chino cargo. And this is, in general, a huge trend for spring. And these are just $39 from the Gap.
They look great.
So good, right?
Yeah, you are working it. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Well done.
All right, we have saved what we believe is the best for last. So this is also a Kate look, and this went viral. Look at this dress that you have nailed it again.
Right?
This was a beautiful pop of color, gold sandals. How do we shop this look? Tell us about it.
So what Kate's wearing on the show is L'Envers, and that would be about $3,000.
Wow.
I found this dress on Rent the Runway for $40.
Great.
Excellent.
Incredible price point. I love the pop of color. I love that it's got that rosette detail on the sleeve. It's so fashion forward and beautiful. I also love that this one is a maxi because then again, it's easier to dress up or down when you are on vacation.
Yeah.
And we wanted to amp it up a little bit and keep it elevated. So we have this really cute bag
Okay,
with the
I need this
embellishment.
bag.
Isn't
That
this
is
so great?
so cute.
Just $75 from Aldo. I love how it plays on sort of those whimsical pops of playfulness that are synonymous with vacation
It's
weather.
adorable.
And then, like you mentioned, Lara, we finished it with a really beautiful flat sandal. Because listen, if we're going on vacation, I don't want to pack a heel. I want to be comfortable.
Amen.
I want to pack a flat, and you can do that without sacrificing style.
Yeah. And great texture there, too.
Yeah, I love it. There's a
So
lot to look at and
beautiful.
take in, and great value. Thank you so much. Come on out, models. You can get all these looks, guys. They're so good. And by the way, Erica's got this great show. It's on YouTube. It's called I Want to Try This Butt. That's
You're
such
going to help us.
brilliant.
We're going to help you.
And it debuts this morning. Check Erica out. She will help you. And you guys have helped us, so thank you very much.
Day 3 of our series, Pivot with Purpose, celebrating women who have changed everything about their lives in order to help others. This morning, the former nurse who is making sure her community's most vulnerable citizens know that they're not forgotten.
And that already has school supplies in it.
These volunteers are changing lives here in Wake Forest, North Carolina, organizing and filling up unique care packages full of vital supplies, personal care products, and love.
We provide what we call an angel care bag. Each bag is age and gender specific. We make sure they include their size, their favorite color, their favorite item, because we want to make these bags very unique and specific to that child. We're going to use this guy right here.
They will be gifted to some of the city's most vulnerable residents, children experiencing housing insecurity.
I'll give that to her.
It's an initiative spearheaded by Myra John, founder and CEO of the nonprofit Myra's Angels Foundation.
Myra's Angels Foundation is focused on providing love and comfort to children who are impacted by homelessness and foster care. And our goal is to alleviate a lot of their stress and their trauma.
First starting her career as an intensive care pediatric nurse.
I always see children as something precious. And to me, angels are precious. And so every time I will go to work, I'll say, oh, what angel do I have today?
Following her intense passion for helping children, Myra soon began working as a school nurse.
I realized the need was even more apparent. There was a lot of children who were homeless that I knew about. The question that I had was, what are some of the resources that we can provide for these children? What can we do for them?
After consulting with parents and social workers, Myra launched her foundation in 2017, eventually leaving her nursing job to focus on a nonprofit full-time.
I have a little girl over there who has a birthday.
Mother Nakia Pratt witnessing Myra's impact firsthand.
Transitioning from homelessness to a home and with young children was difficult, but because of Myra's Angels, it made it a little better, especially for my children. They expressed so much joy, how happy they were that they got something personal for them.
Myra's helped create a sense of community where families feel supported, and just when it's really hard, they think, okay, maybe I can make it now.
The foundation, relying completely on community volunteers, and Myra's sense of support has been tremendous.
I think we all have a purpose in life. Creating this organization have made me realize that just anything just this small can be something so huge and impactful in the lives of these children.
I mean, incredible work by Myra. And Myra's Angels was founded. The organization has given out, since it's been founded, nearly 3,000 care packages.
That's great.
Well done, Myra.
Yeah.
Great for her.
We're going to take a look now at Holi, the festival of colors marked by millions of people around the world. It's a major Hindu holiday that embraces new beginnings and the start of spring. Ashan Singh here to tell us how people across the country are celebrating. Good morning, Ashan.
That's right, George. Morning and happy Holi. It's one of my favorite times of year from just growing up, and it blows my mind how it keeps getting more and more popular here in the States. And from color play across the country to dance parties and celebrations, it feels like everyone's got a little bit of Holi fever this year.
For millions of people around the world, it's the most fun and colorful holiday of the year. Holi, the Hindu festival of colors, celebrating new beginnings, the start of spring, and good triumphing over evil. And while the biggest gatherings happen in and around India, there's no shortage of festivities here in the U.S. At the University of Texas, Austin, Holi is the largest student-run event on their campus of 50,000 plus.
It's really beautiful that I'm able to celebrate my own culture and heritage on a campus as wide and diverse.
This year's 4-hour day of fun, all for free, thanks to the efforts of the Hindu Students Association, who have been organizing the annual celebration since 2008. Apart from the color throws, one of the most classic parts of Holi is the music and dance. Which is why everyone at Shanaz Dance Academy in New Jersey is busy practicing their moves.
1, 2, 3.
From special Holi classes and performances throughout the tri-state to dances and activities specifically crafted for kids, the organization is celebrating in countless ways.
Music and dance transcend borders. Some of the women in that class were not Indian and they totally love moving and grooving. Dance is such an integral part of not just our celebrations, but of our being.
When they say anyone can join,
is it cool if you guys teach me how to dance? Is that okay? Yeah.
They mean it.
Guys,
Yes.
I feel like the whole country just saw me. The team put me through the ringer on that one. I was dropped in the deep end hanging out with those ladies.
Which was your favorite move?
Oh man, it got to be with the hands, right? With the hands.
That was good. You look good on that one.
I like that you committed.
No, I had fun breaking it down. It is the season. It was the time to do it. And so I think it's better than me coming in here and throwing some color on y'all, right?
It is so fun, and the good triumphing over evil is such a great message, too.
That's true. Yeah, it's a really joyful time of year, and I think everybody looks forward to it.
You can throw color. You can dance, though. You can bring color.
I need you to drop a beat, though.
Yet another member of our GMA family has now danced. Yet another member.
Dancing with the Stars is next.
Oh, man. Y'all got me right in the face.
Thank you, Asha. Coming up, Scott Foley is here talking about Will Trent.
We are back now with actor Scott Foley. We've known him for years in shows like Felicity and Scandal, and this season he's joined the cast of Will Trent here on ABC. Take a look.
Is there someplace we can go and talk?
Here's fine.
Hey, Oma, can I borrow a pencil?
Okay. Angie, I would love nothing more than to take some pie to my wife, but I can't. Because she's dead.
Welcome to GMA.
Getting ready for a laugh.
Sorry, that was a turn.
It was not a funny scene. It was a dead wife scene, George.
Oh boy. Well, it's getting serious.
It is getting serious.
And here you are, your debut in the 8th episode of this new season.
Yep.
Doctors in the house.
Doctors, and I'm a doctor on a detective show. But they needed one, and I was here. I was happy to fill the spot. Yeah, listen, this is a great show. Will Trent is a show that has been around. I think it's in its 3rd season now. I'm so excited to join it. I get to play across from some amazing actors. Erica Christensen plays my love interest. I play her love interest in this. And we have a great time. It's a good gig.
But do you have to pick up any medical jargon since you are playing a doctor?
Do I have to pick it up? I have to spit it out. The great thing is they write it down for me, and I just have to read it and reproduce it, which is great. So no, look, this is one of those doctor things where it's more about a relationship than what he does, but I love the fact that he's a doctor. He has a little bit of status over some of these people.
And you were saying...
Come on.
You're a little bit of a fish out of water. The doctor on the cop show.
Yeah, I'm a doctor on a cop show. I was...
True Blood, you were...
Yeah, with True Blood, everyone was a fairy or a werewolf or something. I was a guy.
You're a dude. So you're being typecast.
I'm being typecast as the guy who doesn't fit in anywhere.
Darn it.
And I'm happy about it.
Not to alarm you, but we were checking out your profile on social media.
Oh, how'd I do?
Just a little stalking.
We all do it though, don't we?
Yeah.
Like we all do it. If I'm going to meet someone or have a meeting, like you go instantly go to Instagram or Twitter, or it's not Twitter anymore, whatever the hell it is. Yeah.
So, do you really do a weekly polar plunge?
Oh wow, you did go on social media. I really do a middle-aged man weekly polar plunge, with a bunch of guys from my town. Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's not the smartest thing I've done.
Do you do it because it's a bonding thing, or because you think it's for longevity?
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. I mean, look, we moved to Connecticut during the pandemic, and it was tough to make friends, and I've actually made some now, and I think to keep them, I have to polar plunge with them. I have to jump in this freezing water. And we do it once a week. Sometimes I go by myself without them, because it feels like you feel so good afterwards.
Do you do it?
After, that's right. That's it, yeah. The 30 minutes me sitting in my car, like, come on, you can do this. Come on, you can do this, are not great. But yes, after I feel fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is an early morning ritual?
It's an 8:30 a.m. Sunday morning, depending on tide, because you don't want to have to walk 100 yards in freezing water. But it's great. Have you ice bath plunged?
I've done it in an ice bath, and it's not fun.
No, it's not fun
at all.
And some of these guys, they'll sit in there 2 or 3 minutes.
No,
I'm a quick under, go out. I'm that guy. I'm in and out.
You like that 30 minutes after?
I like the whole day after. You feel great, man. Come along with us. You love it.
One day. So my daughter Elliot spent her entire winter break binging Scandal, which is why I cannot believe my card says it's true. It's been 8 years.
I can't believe that.
I don't know how that's the truth. And I understand how time works most of the time, but it doesn't seem. We're
like
also.
a blink of an eye.
It's the blink of an eye, and the
still
truth
have
is.
The text chain going.
Yeah, we still have a text chain going where someone will say something ridiculous and everyone jumps on them. But it's that's sort of what's kept us together. I mean, thank God for phones. I hate to say that, having children, but the ability to keep in touch with people who I finished a job with 8 years ago. Like, I feel like I don't miss them. They're in my life every day.
Yeah. That's a really great thing. We can't let you go without talking Scream 7.
Oh my goodness, Scream 7.
You died in Scream 3.
Thanks for remembering.
But you're back. How does that work out?
That's a great question. And I'm willing to take a poll here, and someone can explain it to me, because I don't know how it works out. My character, I was the, spoiler alert, 25 years ago, I was the killer in Scream 3. And he was brutally taken to town and killed. And now I'm back in Scream 7, and I'm not sure how it's going to work.
Was it fun to get back with the crew?
The best. Oh man!
Everybody who's done that franchise says it's so much fun.
It's so much fun, and I got to see Nev again, and David Arquette again, and Kevin Williamson, who wrote the first one, and put me in. I was in Dawson's Creek, which was the first TV show he did years ago. He's directing this one, and we had so much fun being on set. It was just great to be around people you love and know.
And speaking of getting back together, Felicity.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, Carrie Russell. She said she'd do a reboot. If it was a good one, if it was right, what do you think? Would you do it?
Yeah, of course I'd do it. My question to you, Michael, is I'm going to be 53 this year. I feel like the Felicity reboot window may have passed.
It's Felicity in the future.
It's Cocoon Felicity? I mean, I feel like I'm Wilford Brimley's age when he did Cocoon.
People would still watch it. They still watch.
Listen, if they'll watch, I'm all for it.
Okay, there you go.
She's magic.
She's magic. She's the best, man. Carrie Russell is undoubtedly a true talent, a true beauty, one of the best there is.
Great person.
Yeah.
So talented, as are you. And people, you can watch more of this man on Will Trent Tuesdays at 8/7 Central here on ABC and streaming on Hulu. Thank you so much, Scott.
Thank you so much for having me.
It is great to see you as always.
Well, I hope we sent you into the weekend in a good way. Thank you for watching.
It was fun. It was fun. Have a great weekend, everybody.
See you on Monday.